why the greed in the market is going to cause a crash in one market, and why the fear, if you've been listening to me for the last couple of weeks, is creating a boom, and there's a lot more to come. Plus, I want to give you an update on gold, silver, what's happening with that right now, what I expect to see happening with that sector as well too, the mining sector, also Bitcoin, the cryptocurrencies, going to be looking at the stock market, the one indice that I believe is going to have the greatest boom next year. And some of you guys may know exactly what I'm about to say. King what, guys? King what? And there's a few other things that I really want to share with you guys that I see that a big mistake that a lot of people have made this year and has caused them to miss out on amazing opportunities. And what we want to do is how to set up this year as an acceleration for more progress, more success moving forward into next year. So we've got a lot of things I got a lot of things I want to cover with you guys today. If you guys don't know who I am, my name is John Howe. I've been trading markets now for 20 years. And through that time, I've been coached by really successful multiple millionaire traders. I've learned some amazing quality stuff that's really helped me in my own personal trading. And if you like to see my equity curve, does this guy even trade? Then again, if you go to getjohnshelp.com, that's an application for my coaching program. And you will be able to see my actual equity curve from there when it comes to my actual personal trading this year for 2024. I'm about to update it for December, but you'll be able to see what's happened for all of this year here. So, one thing I really want to start off with when it comes to these markets is the greed and the fear in the markets, and why the biggest mistake that a lot of people have made this year. And I'm starting off this video with you because it took me a lot of time and experience of what I'm about to say to see how the markets truly work, and why the average trader who's maybe trading in the markets, I would say less than 5 years. If you've been trading the markets less than 5 years, I've been trading markets for 20 years. If you've been trading the markets less than 5 years, then what happens is, let me see if I can fix this up here. What happens is you don't understand the nature of the beast, right? And so I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about. So I had a brand new coaching client sign up to my coaching program, right? He's just joined me for my Inner Circle coaching program. He's with me now for a whole 12 months. For all of 2025, I'm with him every single week. If you're interested in joining that, guys, I've got a few spots left open for all of 2025. So if you're interested in that, you can apply for that link in the description there. But he's pretty brand new to the markets, right? He's pretty brand new to the markets. And this is the common theme that I see across most traders, and why most people it doesn't make sense to them, right? So here's the story. So I put up on my Facebook page the fear and greed index, right? So let me actually bring this up here. So I actually brought this up here, and I brought this is the fear and greed index here, okay? So I brought this up here, and I brought this up in a way where this is when the fear and greed index started to, let me see if I can reset this. All right, okay, cool. Oh, there we go. Okay, cool. Let me see. Okay. So when this fear and greed index got below here, below the 25 level, there's extreme fear, right? And if I go to the actual barometer here of this is for the stock market here, this fear and greed indicator is at 35 right now, okay, number 35, but it was actually at one stage below 25, which is extreme fear. So I was actually letting my coaching clients know about why we should be getting ready for a rally. In fact, I'm pretty sure I covered that in my last video on this YouTube channel, okay? So here's the thing. I was telling them about that, but my coaching client who's pretty much brand new to the market, he actually said, because I said to him, if you've been following me for a while now, to my coaching clients, you would know what the fear and greed index is actually telling you. And this coaching client of mine, again, he's brand new. I'm not having a go at him, okay? I'm not having a go at him, but I'm just trying to share with you how a lot of people make the mistake of this here. And he actually said, I said, if you've been following me now for quite some time, you would know what this fear and greed index is actually telling you when I was at the extreme fear. And he said, so there's a extreme fear. That means there's a lot of fear in the marketplace. Therefore, there's a drop going to come. And on a logical level, that makes sense, right? It's like, oh, well, if there's a lot of fear, therefore the market should drop. And this is where a lot of traders this year have gotten it wrong in the marketplace, because, and this is where a lot of traders who are followers, which they are, right? They're waiting for people to create a YouTube video about it, and there's a big hype about it. And then when they get involved with it, then that's the wrong time to get involved, right? That's why 90% of traders out there really, really, really struggle with their own trading, right? And so one of the biggest mistakes that I've seen a lot of people make is they're going with the herd mentality. So when the barometer's at this extreme fear, what do you think the narrative is on, say, YouTube and the whole narrative out there, right? There's probably going to be a lot of the crashes coming, right? There's the tops in. This pullback we're seeing right now, that's it. It's all over. We're going to get a complete crash, right? This is the start of the big one. All that sort of stuff, right? We're going down that narrative, right? Why? Because there's a lot of fear in the marketplace. So therefore, the narrative out there in the marketplace is going to be what? Extremely fear. Now, what has happened every single time that has happened this year? It has what? Whenever we've gotten to the extreme fear, and there's been twice now, it was back here in August 5th and just recently, right? August 5th. And what happened just recently. Now, here's the thing that I really want you to think about, right? Okay, whenever you're trading next year. So if I bring up, say, let's actually bring this up through here. Actually, let's bring this up here, okay? And if I bring up August the 5th, say, let's actually bring up the S&P 500 because that's one of the main indices, okay? And if I bring this up here, let's see if I can, right there, okay, cool, right? So if I bring this up, if I blow this up through here, this candlestick chart up here, okay? Actually, you know what? Let's just go back to this chart here. Right, so if I look at this S&P 500 chart, the August 5th was when? Right there. So, and we're recently what? We're recently getting the exact same thing, right? So when we got down to below 25, now there's a lot of extreme fear. And this is where a lot of people make the mistake of, there's a whole narrative, or there's a thing out there, right? When people are fearful, be greedy. When people are greedy, be fearful. You probably heard that. That is the case, okay? That is true. If you've heard that, it is true. Because every time there's ultimate fear in the marketplace, we tend to find bottoms, okay? So look what happened just recently. This entire year, twice when we actually got to the extreme fear reading was when? It was here, which was this week right here. Right? And that was the 10%. If you remember this year, right, that was the 10% drop in the marketplace. And then there's a lot of people out there saying the drop, right? And I was saying, nah, right? And so there's a lot of things from a technical point of view, meaning we're still in an upward trend. So that's the first thing from a technical point of view. Secondly is that my moving average, which is my 24 moving average, was still trending to the upside. Whenever we start to get topping patterns, we start to get flattening of the moving average, and we weren't getting that at that time, right? And we're definitely making higher lows, and all that was doing is just making another higher low, right? So within the context of what I just said there, a lot of people right now are very, 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 very shocked and surprised to see why are we almost at all-time new highs when we had this big drop to the downside. When we had this big drop to the downside, guess what I was doing, right? And I've talked about this on my last YouTube video, and also my coaching clients. We talked, especially the Dow Jones, right? The Dow Jones, if we look at the Dow Jones, the narrative has been what? The narrative has been the worst drop in, okay? So one of the things that I find when it comes to these markets is just experience, right? And so there's other two things you can do with your own personal career moving forward into 2025. You can go through your own experience, all right, and take maybe 10, maybe 20 years to go through the experiences of, okay, what type of setups work, what type of setups don't work, how does the market truly work and operate, and just experience the ebbs and flows of when people are really fearful, and then you find that the market bottoms, right? Or when people are really greedy right now, especially in the crypto market, we're probably going to get a pretty significant pullback out of the markets, right? And this is the same. That was the same with gold and silver, right? Why is gold and silver right now just done nothing for the last few months? Because there was so much greed around it. And so this whole narrative around this whole thing about that is, that's the reason why if you're going to do anything in 2025, find someone that you believe in, okay? If it's me, go deep into the stuff that I teach, right? Because what you do is, with my coaching program and anyone's coaching program, is that you're taking their experience, taking 20 years and condensing it down in mine's 1 whole year, right? I take you through this process. The reason why it's 1 whole year is because times like this, as what's going to happen next year, I can really guide you through the process of, hey, this is how markets work, this is what happens, and so on and so forth, right? And keep you calm, keep you on track there. But the whole thing about this is, one of the biggest mistakes that people are making is that they're so focused on the now, and there's so much fear, the market's dropping, the worst time in history, the top's in, the crash is going to come. And what ends up happening? We just continue up, right? We just continue up. And this is the same for the Dow Jones. But the Dow Jones has had its worst day, or the worst sell-off period since 1978, I think it was. And therefore the market bottomed, right? So the thing I really want to encourage you to move forward into next year is that if you want to be part of this world called trading, it takes an understanding of these things. But once you start to see the lay of the land, right? And this is why my coaching program is just amazing, because I'll be able to teach you this sort of stuff. Once you start to understand the game, right? Because it is a big game, right? Once you understand this game and how it works, the patterns, the setups, the systems, the psychology around these times, right? What's happening right now in the stock market? Why is the stock market rallying, right? And you're seeing things like even the NASDAQ. Look at the NASDAQ, big rally back to the upside, right? Same for the S&P, big rally back to the upside. Why is that happening? Because guess what? Right here was when what? When the fear and greed index was at extreme fear. If it's at extreme fear, what's the narrative? So if you're waiting for the narrative, you probably would have short the market, and you're probably doing pretty bad right now, right? Hoping it's going to go down, and hope it's so on and so forth. So that's probably one of the biggest things I'm seeing there right now, and that's where the ultimate, again, if I go back to here, right here was when? Right here was around August the 5th. Remember I said before with August the 5th, what was that? When the fear and greed index got to the extreme fear. Now, again, what does that mean? Extreme fear means most people are fearful. And so as you go through next year, if you want to be good at maybe getting in, identifying good opportunities, you must go against the herd mentality. Fear and greed index is pinging fear. And then the narrative on YouTube and so on and so forth is going to be that, right? So, and every single time that happens, you can see, that was actually a significant low before we actually stair-stepped and continued making a move up. Make sense? So that's what I'm seeing through there from the actual stock market itself. Now, the next thing I want to share with you is one market that I believe in, one market that I truly believe in that's going to make the greatest moves next year. And I was expecting to see this year, and that's Russell, right? King Russell, baby, right? For you guys who have been following me now for quite some time, King Russell. Now, why have I always said King Russell? Because here's the thing. Let me bring this up through to here. Oh, this was a screenshot that I actually did for my coaching clients today. There's actually a beautiful, beautiful trading setup that's happening right now. This is actually a screenshot that's setting up right now. So yeah. Anyway, so if I bring this up to here, and let me bring this down through to where is that screenshot that I did for my coaching clients? Because I did this at the start of the year, and I still believe this is relevant. And look at all these different screenshots. I'm just trying to find, where is that? Just trying to find this screenshot now for you, because I believe this is going, here it is here, right? So this is where we were at the start of the year, right? We saw the NASDAQ made a new high, Dow made a new high, S&P made a new high. Now we know this is old, right? This is really old. What's happened ever since this here? Bam, wham, wham, right? Well, what's happened with the NASDAQ? The NASDAQ has actually ran up to there and had a pullback, right? So I honestly believe that this Russell here, once it actually breaks, it's going to play some catch up. And I believe the Russell's going to be one of those really, and the reason why I say the Russell, remember I said before about the fear and greed index, right? Where you want to be invested in is when no one's invested in and no one's talking about. That's where people are investing in crypto markets right now. It's like people back on the crypto wagon, right? So just understand that. So if I go back to the actual Russell itself and I open up this from a weekly chart perspective, guess what? we are almost, this is a weekly chart here, that's the high up there, right? And now we're still squeezing back to the upside. So if we start to hold here and we start to continue back up, develop a bit of sort of, this sort of pattern going on, then guess what? As we continue along, the breakout could be absolutely huge, right? And then once the breakout happens, guess what? We could actually start to see a really big move. Now, the reason why this is important is because one, the Russell's been that if you have been investing in the Russell, you would be really frustrated right now when it comes to the Russell, right? Because the Russell has been one of those things where if you've been investing in the Russell and it hasn't made moves, but then now you're getting FOMO, it's like, oh man, look at the crypto market take off, right? And oh man, look at the NASDAQ, oh man, right? And that's what the market will do. And what's inevitably going to happen, right? If we do start to break above this 240, 250 level, then that's when the Russell's going to play catch up. And guess what's going to happen? You're not going to be part of the Russell in 12 months time frame. You're going to look back and say, oh man, the Russell. You see how that works, right? So to me, I'm always looking for, especially those sort of, okay, what's likely to make a move? Those markets that no one really likes or everyone's getting frustrated about is one of those markets that I really believe in when it comes to that sort of thing from there. So let's go look at now. So what I'm going to do right now is I'll go look at the actual gold and silver market here. And let's actually bring up this gold chart here, right? So here's something that I really want to sort of share with you when it comes to this gold chart, okay? One of the best things that I do say is when I'm always looking for opportunities to give me a high probability of having a successful trade, right? Understanding where we are in the market of any market is so important. And I use one simple moving average here to help me with that. Now, I use a couple moving averages, but one of those moving averages I'm guiding you through today is the 52 moving average. Why the 52, John? Well, it's not really, use a 50 if you want it, right? Could be a 48, 48.2. It doesn't matter, right? What I'm looking for is the pattern, right? So if I'm looking for a high probability of having a successful trade, right, then I know whenever the moving average is strong trending to the downside, I know not looking for longs through here would be really, really, really risky, right? And looking for shorting, remember, trading opportunities. You're getting in today, you're holding for a few days, you're holding for a week or two, you're getting out, so on and so forth, right? So same thing from here as well too. So whenever the best trades for me are when we have a strong trending moving average, So I'll be looking for long signals all through here. But look at this here. When the moving average starts to flatten out, guess what ends up happening? A lot of volatility, right? A lot of volatility and people get chopped up. So one thing you can do right now to help you have a much better chances of having a successful trade is when the moving average is flat, like it is right now on gold, stay away from it. Why? Volatility. Is it going to go up? Is it going to go down? We're not sure. Toss a coin. All right, and this is where you don't want to go down this. You don't want to go down the path of, oh well, of course gold's going to go up. Russia's buying gold. Don't do that. All right, you can't trade based off Russia buying gold or something like that. Right, you can't trade off that. Remember, because what's a trading opportunity? A trading opportunity is about looking for the same thing again and again and again and again and again throughout the entire trading career. Right. It's not about saying, well, I'm going to go long gold right now because this country's buying gold right now. Let's just say you did that, right? Let's just say you did buy gold right now because you thought, oh, well, Russia's buying gold and therefore it's going to go up, right? And you did make, say, $100,000. Beautiful. You're a legend right now. Now, here's the thing. You just made 100 grand. Oh, man, legend. Now, since you now know how to trade the market successfully, do exactly what you did just there for the rest of your life, and you're going to make so much money from trading. Wait, you can't, right? Because that's called being lucky, right? You don't want to be lucky in the market. You want to set yourself up with the foundation of doing really well. And at the start of this video, I talked about how I have to have this year as an acceleration for next year. Next year is going to be so good for me because I personally am getting better at the same patterns, the same setups, the same thing, right? So next year is going to be the exact same thing for me, but I personally am getting better at the setups, the patterns, how to view my charts correctly, so on and so forth, right? And looking for that. And so because I'm getting better at trading the markets with these setups, and knowing what to look for. And because I'm getting better to this year this year is going to help me have an acceleration into next year. So next year is going to be an amazing year for me. 2025 is going to be an amazing year for me. Why? Because every year gets better and better and better for me, because I personally am getting better at trading one main type of system. I've been trading one main type of system now for many years, right? Many years. And every single year that I stick to it, the more that I get better at it, and each year gets better and better and better and better, right? If you're starting from scratch all over again next year and there is no foundation to your approach, you're just guessing, like say for example, you were trading based off what you thought Russia was doing and so on and so forth, right? Now you have no foundation. There is no acceleration into next year, right? There's like starting from scratch. Like, okay, what setup am I looking for? And now you're on the back foot, right? Now you're on the back foot. And that's where, like for me personally in my coaching program, is that's what I teach you, right? I teach you one type of main type of setup to help you identify. Then we become good at that. And then as the weeks and months go on and the years go on, you get really good at identifying these setups, and that's how you get there, right? So as the moving average is trending up from there, and same through here, this is where I'm looking for long signals. Remember, this is trading opportunities. This is not buying gold for 5 years, okay? That's investing, right? Forget that. But if you're looking for opportunities, have a high probability of making good money, trade with the moving averages, right? And when the moving average starts to flatten out, and we start to do this here right now, it's time to evacuate and not get involved with it. Why? Because is it going to go up? Is it going to go down? A lot of volatility, and this is where a lot of amateurs get chewed up. I had a really successful trade through here. I had another successful trade through here, and I'm out of the market from here, from a trading point of view. Why? Because I stand aside and not get chewed up when the market's volatile. It's not sure what it wants to do, and I only get in when there's a lot of momentum behind that there, right? And so that's what I'm seeing that's happening right there. And the same thing for silver as well too. Silver right now is just one of those markets, guys, that's just, we did try to start to have a good moving average, didn't we? And then something went down and up and then flattening. And it's like, silver's one of those things when it comes to trading opportunities, guys. If you're trading silver right now, at least from a daily chart perspective, yeah, it's just, there's no one really clearly in control, meaning there's no good trend. It's all over the place from there. So, and the last thing I want to share with you guys on this update with you guys is, at the start of this video, I talked about how the greed is going to cause a crash and how the fear is going to cause a boom. And that was all relating to the psychology of the markets, right? Psychology of markets. Why? Because with the stock market, guess what? It's ultimate fear is creating the rally in the market once again. This happened before. And what's happening right now with the good old crypto market? Crypto market is actually being quite weak, right? And if you have a look at this from a 4-hour chart, this is a 4-hour chart here. Look at this here, rolling over. Look at this here from a weekly chart. This is a weekly chart. We're still pretty far away from the moving average, aren't we? So we would expect to see some form of a correction out of Bitcoin from a technical point of view, right? And this is where, from a technical point of view, this is what I do on all my charts, right? Bring up the moving average. So on a weekly chart, I like to use a 24 moving average. And you can see when we start to get too far away from it, guess what? We know that now it's overbought. I didn't need a stochastic to tell me that, an RSI to tell me that, right? Look how far away it is. And look what happens every single time. Right, look at this here. Every single time we get too vertical, too far away, what ends up happening? Right, the market comes back here. So just utilizing that. Unfortunately, when you start to go down the narrative of greed now, because everyone's in Bitcoin, everyone's in the crypto market, right? This is where, if you want to be a good trader in the markets and look for opportunities, a lot of the times it's just been understanding the narrative, like, okay, a lot of people are greedy right now. And then a lot of people jump on the bandwagon and then they get hurt, right? So looking at this level right now, we're probably going to have a bit of a drop through here. Not an ultimate big complete crash, but looking at that from the weekly chart, looking at this from a daily chart, this is the 4-hour chart as well too, we're rolling over. So once Bitcoin starts to break below, say 92, then we could start to see this thing having a really big move on the downside from there. So that's what I wanted to share with you there today, guys. The big theme here, biggest mistake that I'm seeing most people make is that they're not firstly, they don't have any foundation of what they're doing, so they're not getting better each and every year is like, oh, well, what am I looking for today? That's the wrong thing to do. Whenever I go to the markets, right? When I go to the markets, guess what? I'm looking for my trading setup. I'm looking for my trading system and so on and so forth. And that's the main thing, right? But then when it comes to other opportunities in the markets, just understanding the biggest mistake that a lot of people have made is they got sucked into the narrative right now. Oh, fear and greed indicator, extreme fear. The average trader is going to get sucked into that narrative and think the market's going to drop. Now, the person with a bit more experience behind the market there, it's going to be, they're the people that understand that there's ebbs and flows, right? And it's been one of the biggest lessons. Twice we've seen the fear and greed indicator be extreme fear, and twice now we've formed really good significant bottoms before we've actually seen a really strong move to the upside.